December 24th, 7:30 PM, contest venue, Delicia's room. Hello everyone, Triple S back with more Ace Investigations, Monetisation of Prosecutor's Path. Last time, Ray brought Miles to this kind of mansion place with a fountain and stuff. And then we shifted back in time, and we're now playing as Gregory Edgeworth, Miles' father. And there's also Ray's with us, a younger Ray, who's Gregory's assistant. And a pastry chef, I think it's a pastry chef, or just a chef in general, got murdered and stuffed into inside a chocolate chest. So the person who made that chest is the suspect, Master Jeff. But it turns out there was other fingerprints in the room. A lot of stuff has been vandalised, and there was a lot of other fingerprints in the room belonging to Delicia. So we're going to speak to Delicia in this part. And just like last part, it's an investigation, there's some testimony. Also, we found out that the prosecutor for this case is Manfred von Karma. Because of course you have to put Gregory against Manfred if you know the history of those two from the first 3 games, I guess you could say, the original trilogy. I also forgot to mention, this case is 9 parts long. But that's not to say each part is an hour long. There are it's a small run of parts that are just 20 minutes long, so that'll be fun to do. Get through a lot of parts in one day. But until you get to the last part, which I'm pretty sure is an hour and a half long, depending on how fast I can get through it. And if I don't ramble like I'm doing now. So let's carry on. Wow, a candy castle. And there are even some fairies over there. This room seems to be structured in the same way as Master's room. Oh yeah, and we bumped into Bad again, Detective Bad. But it's nowhere near as cold. This room also seems to have been fitted with a temperature control panel. Nice, over by that orange lamp, right? Indeed, let's not forget to investigate it later. Even so, this room is like something out of a fairy tale. Is this cream-covered castle Delicia's work? Where is Delicia? Oi! Can I help you? Oh, that was the perfect voice to give her. Okay, so in the last part, Gustavia said Delicia is a person who would do anything, be ruthless to win. You know, would be angry and mean and stuff, is but what we assumed, but look at her. But also consider the fact that she reminds me of Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter, and we all know how she turned out, so yeah. Hello boys, I'm Delicia Scones. I'm not going to keep doing that voice, but you know. Oh, she's English! My bay! Oh, hello. Oh, are you Yorkshire? Are you a Yorkshire woman? I was going to say like me then, I'm a Yorkshire man. Anyway, in my native England, I'm known as Miss Delicious. Miss Delicious, not delicious. Miss Delicious. Being called a boy, even though I'm already 34, it's certainly a rare experience. You're 34? Damn. But boys? I understand you calling me that, but Mr. Edgeworth? As far as I'm concerned, you're all boys to me, even that detective over there. My name is Bad. Not boy. Boy. Just how old is this woman? Mr. Attorney, let's just finish our business here. Alright. Oh, you. What do you think you're doing conversing with a mere attorney? Here we go. Miss Edgeworth, a scary man came out of the candy castle. Von Karma. This man is Prosecutor von Karma. Manny! So he's von Karma. Pleased to meet you, Prosecutor von Karma. My name is Gregory Edgeworth, Defence Attorney. Bah! I have no interest in the names of defence attorneys. After all, they only exist to be crushed by me. What a rude man. You don't know the half of it. That piercing gaze and furrowed brow. Ugh! He's even scarier than the rumours say. Although that statement was also very rude. Prosecutor von Karma, would you allow us to investigate too? You think I would give information to a mere defence attorney? As I thought, it won't be that simple. However, I'll make a special exception for this room. Why did he change his mind so quickly? You, old bloodhound. Don't call me that. My name is Bad. Bah! A mere detective speaking back to me. I admire your courage at least. Bad, stand watch and see to it that they don't misbehave. Why me? I will not accept your refusal. Well then, I'll be investigating Gustavia's room next. I'm babysitting again. I wonder why he and Von Karma are investigating together. Instead of being on bad terms, it seems like they hardly know each other. Mr. Edgeworth, now that we've got Von Karma's permission, we can continue investigating. Yes, his manner bothers me, but I'm glad we can at least continue this investigation. Hold it! I also need to investigate this room. I don't want you disturbing the room, so you'll investigate after me. What? Aren't you the detective in charge of this case? Why haven't you investigated this room yet? The detective in charge of the initial investigation was a close colleague of Von Karma. I came to take over for him, so I only got to this mansion just recently. So that's why he and Von Karma are investigating together. Detective Bad, will you allow us to investigate with you like before? In doing so, you'll be able to supervise us and also ensure we don't tamper with anything. You want me to watch you? You're a strange lawyer. I'll let you stick around a little longer. Yay, you did it, Miss Edgeworth. Thank you, Detective Bad. But if I decide you're holding up the investigation, you'll have to leave. Yes, I understand. Well then, let's begin the investigation. Begin investigation! Continue contest venue, delicious room. There was something I was going to say and I'd completely forgotten it, but I was saving it for now, but it's gone. That's just great. Anyway, let's continue the investigation. The temperature panel. Where is it? Oh, it's up there. There's a cover on the wall, just like in Mr. Master's room. Let's open it up. The room temperature is 68 degrees Fahrenheit and the lights are set to green. Gustavia said that 50 degrees Fahrenheit is the ideal temperature for fresh cream. This room's temperature is too high. High room temperature. The temperature in Delicia's room is too damn high for fresh cream. Logic added. This is intriguing. Examine the front of the castle. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. I can't believe this amazing castle is made entirely out of confectionery. I know! What a work of fantasy. It's like a fairy tale world. You like all this fairy tale stuff, don't you? Sorry. I got a bit too excited, didn't I? No, it's interesting to me since you're so enthusiastic about it, unlike my son. Your son? He's only in grade school, yet he prefers to read law books instead of fairy tales. I'm worried that he won't be able to make any friends that he can talk to. What an interesting kid. I'd like to be his friend. Haha, I think you'd be more of an older brother to him. Older brother, huh? Well, I've got some growing up to do then. Yes, and that's why we have to continue with the investigation. He has friends. I mean, he has two friends. One who turns into an enemy and one is just a bumbling idiot, but he has friends. Right, examine the castle's entrance. I guess, like, how would I do that? Like, what was that? These are empty. I guess like that, I guess. The castle doors are open. When someone opens a door, they really should remember to close it afterwards. Would he say that directly to Prosecutor Von Karma, though? Huh? Looks like there's some stuff inside. Let's see. Wait! I'll examine it. Stay out of the way. This fresh cream melts too easily. Fragile desserts. The cream is melting. A single touch can cause it to break. Logic added. Seems like Detective Bad's shoes got covered in cream. Why were these objects kept inside the Candy Castle? If there's anything you want to investigate, you better speak up now. So the gold rocks, what are these? 2 big rocks are placed here. It's like a storage room. You know, the inside of the Candy Castle isn't so dreamy. Hey, maybe they're raw gemstones. Who knew that there were such treasures hidden within the castle? Seems like a rather careless way to handle treasure. Looks like there's something underneath the rocks. Seems there's a pedestal attached to both of the rocks. Pedestal of rock. The rocks in the castle have a pedestal attached to them for some reason. Logic added. I mean, they go out in the front, that's obvious. Of course, it's a pedestal for displaying the gems. Well, in any case, this is no ordinary object. Examine the pedestals, which I was going to do at first. This pillar has a hexagonal recess. Looks like a pedestal, but it has nothing in it. A hexagonal recess, huh? I wonder what would have been put in there. Hexagonal recess, the 2 pillars have a hexagonal recess on top. What were they for? Logic added. I mean, it's obvious, but a giant strawberry would fit with the fresh cream. Is that it bad? I don't think strawberries are hexagonal. I was just hoping. Then I hope it's a banana. I think I prefer blueberries. I like Gregory, he's so nice. I keep expecting him to be like Miles, where Gumshoe would say that, like, I want a banana, and Miles would just be like, you goddamn moron. But no, Gregory's like, oh, actually, thinking of that, I'd actually prefer blueberries over banana. But like, he actually joins in. It's so cool. Okay, logic, because we can put some of these together. And the pedestal of rock, if I can get to it, hexagonal recess. The rock's pedestal has a similar shape to the recesses on the castle's pillars. Perhaps the rock is meant to be placed on top of the pillars. Oh, that's right. They're both hexagonal. I wonder why they were hidden inside the castle, though. That was quick. High room temperature and fragile desserts. We're going to keep that beaten to death on the back burner for a while, I think. The reason the fresh cream is so fragile is due to the temperature in this room. So my shoes got creamed, because the room temperature is set at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Speaking of which, when you opened the castle door, the doorknob didn't break. Yeah, it was stronger than I thought. Strong? A dessert? Is it bad? Could you have a closer look at that doorknob? Oh, this is disqualification territory here. This is... It would seem this doorknob isn't a dessert. And it's not just a doorknob. This castle and the fairies are just plastic models coated in fresh... molds coated in fresh cream. Then this isn't a dessert piece at all. It would seem they're just fake desserts covered in fresh cream. Fake desserts. Delicia made fake desserts. What are her true intentions? Logic added. Yeah, that's disqualification territory right there. If we remember the rules, everything has to be a dessert. Nothing cannot be a dessert. And those doorknobs and the fairies, that's disqualification. Okay, so, the rolls of blue cloth. There are rolls of blue cloth here. Looks like there's 4 of them in all. They certainly don't look like desserts. Yeah. Oh, and the rocks as well, not desserts. I don't know what the cloth is for. It almost seems like it was hidden here inside the castle. Also, the colour of this cloth looks familiar somehow. The blue cloth and the rocks inside the castle, I wonder if they belong to Delicia. Delicia, those things in the castle, what are they used for? Those? I'm afraid I can't tell you. Looks like Von Karma is keeping her silence. Nah, I've been found out. You'll get mad at me if I talk. Prosecutor Von Karma doesn't intend on being upfront with his information. It's such a shame. We finally figured out where the rocks are supposed to go. Could it be that you're interested in my goods? Your goods? Those are my popular relaxation goods. You mean the rock rocks in the cloth. You see, that's right. You see, they're not actually rocks, but special lamps made from rock salt. Wow, so those are lamps. It gets even more exciting, because this cloth also has an amazing secret. As soon as we showed interest in her goods, she became quite talkative. Since we've got them out, come experience the therapy, boys. Baddie, could you put everything up? It's not baddie, it's bad. So you won't do it? Is Baddie being a bad boy? Labby, are you done photographing this room? Yes, sir, I am, sir. Then go help Delicia. Yes, sir, I'm on it, sir. Thanks, I knew you were a good boy underneath, Baddie. It's delicious. That was amazing. You even persuaded Detective Bad. I had a thought, though. The reason the cloth and the rocks might be hidden inside there is because they also were grounds for disqualification, and then the fairies, she thought, oh, I could just cover them in frosting to hide the fact, you know? Maybe, that's what I think. Thanks a lot, Baddie, and you too, Frenzies. She even gave the Forensics a nickname. I think that's her way of showing she cares. Ah, what's so therapeutic about these things anyway? We don't have time for that now, Baddie. The show's about to begin. Frenzies, finishing touches, please. Yes, ma'am. Wow, it's so beautiful. It really is. I wish my son could see this. Oi, I told you so, right? The 4 fairies and the curious candy castle was the theme of my work. It's so sparkly and cute, right? It seems like one of them is missing something. The truth is, I had planned to unveil it during the contest. Well, I'm glad I got to show it to you boys. Huh? It doesn't look like the rock salt lamps are lighting up. Huh? I wonder why. I think I'll need to examine the rocks and the fairies again. It says examine the front of the castle and the left rock salt lamp. Oh, it's got blood on it. That's not good. It looks like both the lamps in the pillars are broken. Both of their light bulbs are broken. Maybe they were dropped on the floor. There is some sort of red stain on the lamp surface. This stain? Could it be that smell? There's no mistaking it. It's a bloodstain. Blood-stained rock salt lamp. Someone's bloodstain was left on the rock salt lamp. Logic added. Ah! That's a bloodstain! Why is there a bloodstain on this lamp? I wonder if this has something to do with the lamp bulb being broken. I should also take a look at the other lamp here. Do I need to? Oh. It says deduce the right rock lamp. Okay, so deduce that. And here we go, there's my... This should work, hopefully. Yep, the contest rules. Detective Bad, please read the contest leaflet. Any decorations not made from desserts are prohibited. Huh. These rock salt lamps and the fluorescent cloths go against the rules. Delicia broke the rules. Delicia used other objects besides desserts for her decorations. Logic added. So maybe that's why they were hidden in the castle. I wonder about that. I think we should investigate further into Delicia's actions. Okay, well, actually, oops. Oh no, yeah. For a minute I thought it said, wait, which, ah, this here is missing a cloth above the thing. Unlike the other fairies, this one doesn't have a fluorescent cloth. It's delicious. It's not right to leave one out. I don't like it either. But one fluorescent cloth and a machine has gone missing. You've lost a cloth and a machine? What sort of machine is it? Oi! Let me tell you. Oh, it's supposed to be, oi, let me tell you, mate. Each piece of fluorescent cloth is hooked up to one of these machines. The machine is called a rainbow light device. Light is sent through the cable and into the cloth, which is made of optic fibres. Just fiddle around with the settings a bit and it will turn into all sorts of colours. When it glows red, it's like a raging inferno. And when it goes blue, you can almost feel the glittering cool ice. It's powered by a long-standing battery that's resistant to changes in the temperature. I'm not very familiar with these kinds of devices. Mr. Edgeworth, she's saying it's a machine that transmits light to the special cloth. I see, it's amazing what they've come up with these days. So one rainbow light device and one fluorescent cloth are missing. You see, that's right. Wherever could they be? This fluorescent cloth, could it be related to the case? Fluorescent cloth added to the court record. It's logic time, folks. Beaten to death, we're finally getting to it, with the blood-stained rock salt lamp. There is evidence that the victim was beaten to death with a blunt object. What's more, there's a blood stain on one of the broken rock salt lamps. Could this lamp have been the murder weapon? You're right, it could have been used as a weapon. Labby, is the blood analysis on this rock salt lamp finished? Yes, sir. Finished just a few moments ago, sir. The blood stain on that lamp belonged to the victim. You heard what he said. Rock salt lamp added to the court record. The murder weapon was hidden in Delicia's room. We need to consider her as one of the suspects as well. And Delicia broke the rules. Fake desserts. Connect. That's all our logic gone. Using decorations that were against the rules and making fake desserts. A lot of Delicia's actions seem suspicious. Yeah, it doesn't seem like she's aiming to be the world's greatest pastry chef. Also, the temperature of this room is way too high. Is there a reason for that? Fake desserts added to the court record. I wonder. I think we should ask Delicia directly. Maybe it's not really Delicia. Maybe it's an imposter. Let's go talk to her then. Delicious scones, how you doing? Huh? Miss Delicious? You don't seem as energetic as you were earlier. Delicia, can I just ask, did something happen with Von Karma? Yesy? Nothing of the sort. But you just said yesy. Yesy. That yesy just now was only a greeting. You're a cute boy. I like you. What's your first name? Huh? It's Raymond, but... Well, Ray Ray, I think you'll make a good man of yourself someday. Ray Ray? How about that? I think you have a way with British ladies. She's a little different from my image of a lady. Why don't we listen to what she has to say? During the contest. Could you tell me about your actions during the contest? You see, we began making desserts for the contest around 10 o'clock. Basically, I was in here making my desserts the whole time. At 1:30, I joined the afternoon tea for about an hour or so. Afternoon tea? It's a social occasion where conversation is had over black tea and cakes. So it's pretty much a tea party. Well, I suppose. Oh, Greggy, you're a smart boy, aren't you? When did I become Greggy? Greg's, you're a pastry chefs and Greg's. Oh, I love it. I just thought of that. Where was the afternoon tea held? It took place in the gardens outside of the fountain patio. It's our customary break time during the contest. It's always held at the same time. Today there were just 3 of us who took part, Jeffy, Katie and me. Since Jeffy had already finished his creations, he was there from beginning to end. Icy and Gusty didn't join in because they hadn't finished their desserts yet. So everyone other than Mr. Dover and Mr. Gustavia participated. Yep, actually I hadn't finished my dessert yet either. Yeah, I just wanted to try some of Jeffy's handmade pastries and Katie's fresh brewed tea. So, after I had eaten my fill, I returned before everyone else. During the contest, did you enter any of the other contestants' rooms? Huh? What are you saying? We found your fingerprints on the desserts at the crime scene. You found them? Are you admitting that you went to the scene of the murder? I admit it, but I'm not the murderer. It's the honest truth. Please hear me out. The honest truth. What were you doing in Mr. Master's room? The truth is, I was studying his desserts. Studying? Because Jeffrey's so talented at making sweets. Well, nobody was in his room at the time, so I just decided to study his works for a bit. Dessert study. Delicia went to Mr. Master's room to study his desserts. Logic added. We're back to having some logic. But if you were just looking, you wouldn't have left your fingerprints behind. You see, it's natural that I left fingerprints on the desserts. For the sake of research, I ate some of his desserts. Isn't that like stealing food? He couldn't be. The one who wrecked Mr. Master's room was... I'm sorry, it wasn't my intention to vandalise the room, but I did eat a few parts of the desserts in his room. I secretly ate little bits and pieces so Jeffy wouldn't find out. So, did you eat the ship stand as well? You see, I did. The chocolate ship broke because of you. I'm sorry. So the reason she left the afternoon tea early was to preserve her appetite. But you've got to believe me on this. I'm not the murderer. Her actions are sufficiently suspicious, but I won't press on it yet. The room temperature. Delicia, why is the room temperature set to 68 degrees Fahrenheit? Nicole doesn't agree with me, plus it's bad for the body. This figure doesn't just maintain itself, you know. Naturally, as a lady, I want to look young forever. I wonder how old Miss Delicious really is. Raymond, a true gentleman never asks a woman her age. What are you, Professor Layton? This room is mainly filled with cream, and 50 degrees Fahrenheit is the recommended temperature for preserving fresh cream. What, really? Now it's all gone to waste. Looks like Miss Delicious didn't know. Knowledge was lacking. Delicia seems lacking in the basic knowledge of dessert making. Logic added. Sorry, I missed that bit. I was reading the guide. I thought she was supposed to be a first-class pastry chef. The fake desserts and the rule violations. And now, her lack of basic knowledge. Looks like she keeps many secrets. We're done here. These two bits of logic we just got, let's add them together. Dessert study, knowledge was lacking, connect. Delicia's knowledge in the art of dessert making is lacking in fundamental areas. And she claims she went into Mr. Master's room in order to study his desserts. These actions and ideas are not fitting of someone aiming to be the world's greatest pastry chef. Yeah, they don't sound like the words of a pro. It's like she doesn't even realise it, or maybe she isn't a real pastry chef. Perhaps she had some other intention. It's possible that she didn't go into the room to study desserts. So then, are you saying Miss Delicious is the criminal? We can't say that for sure yet, but I know she's hiding something from us. Investigation complete! That's enough. Investigating. We found much more than I expected. And yet, something from before still bothers me. Prosecutor Von Karma must have found the murder weapon in this room. So then why did he let Delicia be? Firstly, I must ascertain Von Karma's true motives. Detective Bad, I would like to ask Prosecutor Von Karma something. I've also got business with him. And Delicia there too. What's the idea, Baddie? Don't glare at me like that. It seems Detective Bad also has his doubts about Delicia and Von Karma. Delicia, would you come with us for a moment? You see, that's fine. What for? We have to find Von Karma. There are some things we need to talk about. December 24th, 8:05 PM, contest venue, Fountain Patio. Oh, there he is, on his lonesome. Prosecutor Von Karma, we need to talk about the case. Tisk, tisk, tisk. From the look on your face, I assume you found the murder weapon. Yes. Discovered the murder weapon in Delicia's room. It would seem Mr. Master isn't the only suspect in this case. Bah! That's not true. Where the murder weapon was found does not change the fact that Master is the culprit. As long as I am here. Why is Von Karma so sure of himself? Well then, aren't you going to explain why the murder weapon was in Delicia's room? Naturally. If you wish to know, I'll tell you. Here we go. About the murder weapon. In order to pin the crime on Delicia, Master used the rock salt lamp to kill the victim. He then deposited the murder weapon in Delicia's room. If he had left the murder weapon at the crime scene, Master would have been the one suspected. He couldn't move the body, but it was easy to move the murder weapon. Ergo, there would be no evidence pointing to a specific culprit at the crime scene. Mr. Master took the rock salt lamp? Precisely. I carried out the investigation myself. There can be no room for doubt. Do you have evidence that he moved it? That will not be necessary. What? Tisk, tisk, tisk. If you have an objection, say it. Do you think a mere defense attorney can break my logic? Okay, we gotta go to ergo, there will be no evidence pointing towards blah blah blah. And we present the fluorescent cloth. Objection. Ah, that's the cloth the body was wrapped in! I just figured it out! It's true that the murder weapon and bloodstains disappeared from the vicinity. However, there was still one piece of incriminating evidence left behind. Have a look at this photograph, which was taken when the body was first discovered. This cloth was used to wrap the body. Doesn't it remind you of the fluorescent cloth from Delicia's room? Yeah, my fluorescent cloth was at the crime scene! Ha! Fluorescent cloth. You, just what part of this cloth is fluorescent? I guess Von Karma doesn't know about this cloth's secrets. It looks like a normal cloth at first glance, but if you use this rainbow light device, you can make it glow. Prosecutor Von Karma seems a little surprised. I don't think it was the cloth's ability to glow that surprised him. One sheet of this fluorescent cloth is currently unaccounted for. And I would like you to look at the colour of the cloth in this photo. Don't you think it looks like the colour of the fluorescent cloth before it's been lit up? Both the rock salt lamp and the fluorescent cloth originally belonged to Delicia. Wouldn't it be natural to assume that this cloth was used to wrap the body? Prosecutor Von Karma, I believe the present condition gives us much reason to suspect Delicia. Ah! She used her foot to do that? Hold it, Greggy. Do you really suspect me? I don't yet know if you are the culprit, but it is true that you're hiding something. Am I right? That's... So, you're saying that the murder weapon and the cloth were originally from Delicia's room? Yes. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What's so funny? Just as I expected from you. The murder weapon and the cloth are not from her room. How unfortunate for you. What does he mean? Before the contest began, Master noticed her violation of the rules. He confiscated the cloth and the rock salt lamp and kept them in his room for safekeeping. What? The victim was not seen as he stayed locked up in his room after the contest had begun. The only one who could have unlocked the locked rooms was Jeff Master. And the murder weapon, the rock salt lamp, was being kept in Master's room. But there were two. Why did he only have one? This should be the decisive evidence in proving Master's guilt. Defense attorney? You've lost to me before you even had a chance to stand in court. What's this? What? Was all our investigating for nothing? It's delicious. Why didn't you tell us about your confiscated items? Well... Manny said I'd look suspicious if I did. Prosecutor Von Karma? And it's true, you all suspect me, don't you? Tisk, tisk, tisk. How clumsy of you, defense attorney. Von Karma. So that's why he let us investigate Delicia's room. In your clumsiness, there's one more thing I need to inform you of. 2 sets of fingerprints were found on the murder weapon. 2? Yep. They belong to Jeff Master and Delicia Scones. No other fingerprints were found. After Master killed Dover with the confiscated rock salt lamp, he foolishly concealed the murder weapon bearing his own fingerprints in its owner's room. Tisk tisk. I don't even need to prove my case in court. I have more than enough perfect evidence to prove Master's guilt. Objection. Hold it! I still have some doubts about the fluorescent cloth found in Mr. Master's room. Bah! Irrelevant! After disposing of the body, he intended to return it to Delicia's room. I don't have enough information to refute Von Karma's reasoning. Tisk tisk tisk. There's nothing left to say. If your job is done, leave this place. That! I can't give up yet. We've wasted enough time as it is. Bad. Take them away. There are still some doubts left in our investigation. Detective Bad. What's the meaning of this? It's not my nature to leave any doubts behind. There is still one piece of evidence that has yet to be identified. That's right. There are still the traces someone left behind. Bah! Talk about your doubts as much as you want later. But this, my dear attorney, is none of your business. No, I also have some doubts about one piece of evidence. It's likely that I have the same doubts Detective Bad has. What? This is the piece of evidence left in Mr. Master's room that has yet to be identified. And that is, these. Somebody left gloved finger marks on one of Mr. Master's desserts. If these were the killer's finger marks, then it's possible that the killer also didn't leave any fingerprints on the murder weapon. How did you know the state of the crime scene? I gave them permission to investigate. Bad! What possessed you to let the defense attorney into the crime scene? I don't recall you telling me not to let them in. Bah! Such impudence. You'd best remember, Bad. Your salary review depends on me. This isn't good for Bad. I'm so glad I have a kind boss like Mr. Edgeworth. Your salary review depends on how you perform here. I'm surprised at what a mere attorney like you managed to uncover in such a short time. However, it's possible those finger marks were Master's own doing, because he always wore gloves while cooking. Do you have evidence that those finger marks were left by Master? And moreover, there are still a few points of suspicion surrounding Alicia. Oh? You still haven't given up on that? Greggy, you still suspect me? I've already apologised for stealing a few bites. I don't want to suspect you. However, I can't easily trust those who tell lies. You must still be hiding something. Greggy is a bully. Don't you know the temperature fresh cream must be kept at? You call yourself a dessert chef, but you lack even the most basic knowledge. I'm sorry for my lack of knowledge. In your case, it's not even about the lack of knowledge. In truth, you don't even know how to make desserts, do you? Defense attorney, stop trying to force your own reasoning. In a court of law, the evidence tells all. If you say the witness is lying, show it with evidence. We're not in court yet, but very well. This evidence shows that Delicia can't make desserts. Where would it be? Fake desserts, right there. The only things Delicia made were those that broke the rules. The lamp and cloth that broke the rules were being held in Master's room. There's no way the witness could have returned them to her room. Those were not the only fake desserts she made. What? Her desserts may look like something out of a fairy tale at first glance, but in reality they are nothing but mannequins, decorated with cream. Apart from the cream, they're all fake. This is not something one aiming to become the world's greatest pastry chef would do. Is this true, Bad? Yep, my shoes can attest to that. Will that be enough to convince Prosecutor Von Karma? Once he sees what Delicia has done, he'll have no choice but to be convinced. Delicia, the fact that your actions could lead to you being a suspect is no laughing matter. That's... I didn't murder! Isn't it time you told us the whole truth? Who are you? And why were you indulging yourself in another contestant's work? Yesy, I understand. The truth is, I'm not really a dessert chef, like I led you to believe. I'm actually a pharmacist. What? A pharmacist? That's a completely different occupation. It's no wonder he couldn't hide his surprise. Why is a pharmacist like you participating in this contest? I just love eating desserts. I joined because I thought I'd be able to eat some of Jeffy's desserts. I never thought I'd end up making it to the finals. Even Prosecutor Von Karma is at a loss for words. So that's the real reason why you entered the contest? You see, as suspected, Jeffy's desserts were oh so good. So the gloved finger marks on the picture frame were your doing? Ah, no way, I never wore gloves. Delicia's fingerprints were found on Mr. Master's chocolates. So it is true that she wasn't wearing gloves. You see, exactly. You do believe me, Greggy. Is your face stuffed with nothing but desserts? Ah! Sorry, Manny! I think it's her belly that she's stuffed. Were Master's desserts all that you ate? Actually, no. After the afternoon tea, I also ate Icy's desserts. You mean you entered the victim's room? You see, exactly. The room was empty after all. Perhaps the victim was already dead by then. But my first bite tasted way too salty and I couldn't eat it. So I ate the delicious star-shaped dessert that was nearby. Miss Delicious, you really are a glutton. It is rare that you see a woman with this kind of appetite. That's all I did. Greggy, Manny, everyone, I'm sorry I caused you trouble. Now that you've told us the truth, everything's fine. There's no need to apologise. This does not mean that your testimony is trustworthy. I'll be investigating the victim's room after this. Only then will I decide if your testimony is true. Prosecutor Von Karma, I'd like to go as well. I also need to ascertain whether my reasoning up until now has been correct. I'll let you follow, but I have no intention of letting you investigate. That's enough for me. December 24th, 9 PM. Contestant venue, Dover's room. This... What is the meaning of this? Oh. Someone turned the temperature up. The desserts adorning the victim's room had disappeared without a trace. Was this the true killer's doing? A body that was hidden inside the dessert and a murder weapon that was moved? Further investigation would be required to arrive at the truth of this case. To be continued! So I guess my theory of the murder weapon being something edible didn't pan out because it was the rock salt lamp, but you know, it was just something that seemed like it might fit, but there we go. We have kind of made some headway in proving that it wasn't Masters, but even still, it didn't seem like Delicia was the one to do it, I don't think, unless she's really like an UMBRIDGE kind of person. But she's not a true pastry chef either. And we've actually spoken with Von Karma, and he's still being his same old self, I guess you could say, if you've seen the other games, but oh god, Von Karma, I hate you so much! But next time, don't know what we're going to do, considering the fact that Dover's room, everything just seems to have melted and is gone. So that's not good. What's to investigate? We'll have to see you next time. So thanks for watching. I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.